What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we have two big champions being buffed, one of which you're never gonna have. Majority of you watching this video probably will never have this champion, which is the champion you get from making a lot of purchases. Not just a lot of purchases, but specifically inside of the Play on Play client. So if you're a mobile only player, I don't think you're able to get this champion at all. If you're a BlueStacks player, you're not gonna be able to get this champion. But if you're a Play on Play player and you spend a lot of money, well, you probably already have this champion. I happen to have quit spending basically when this champion came out, and I don't have enough points to actually get her. I spent a little bit since then, but not enough to be anywhere that close to having her. I'm still a ways off, especially when you consider how many points you get per day. So you're getting your daily points from your daily login rewards. Actually, no, where is it? The time played rewards each day. I don't even know where those pop up at, honestly. Oh, yeah, it's down here. Okay, here we go. We have 3, 5, 6, 9. 9 points per day. Maybe you get some more. I don't know where else they come from. Maybe some events, maybe some tournaments. But needless to say, you're not going to have this champion for years. But we're going to talk about the buffs coming to her for those of you who have her. Before we talk about her buffs, I want to talk about buffs to a champion who you probably do have or probably will eventually have if you pull plenty of shards. That's King Gorg. Let's just compare this. 1,800 reviews on him. Tshirt may actually have more reviews. Let's see Tsirt's reviews. So Tshirt the Chard is not a demon spawn. What is she then? What could she be if she's not a demon spawn? I have 40 fragments to her. Oh, she's a Sylvan Watcher. Okay, so a forest burner basically. Burns the entire forest down. I bet that's what she is. There we go. 143 reviews. That is a massive difference. Not many players have Tshirt. It just costs so much money to actually get her. So we're not going to talk about her first. We're going to talk about Gorg first. So here is King Gorg. Honestly, his reviews are pretty accurate. He's not a great champion. But let's see if these new buffs are going to make him into the great champion he deserves to be. So we're going to skip past Tshirt and talk about the more important champion. With the following changes, King Gorg's damage output has been increased across all of his active skills, reinforcing his role as a damage dealer. Now remember, all these claims are the Plarium's opinions. We read into the actual skills, see how they actually perform, maybe a little different. His A1 now has a higher chance to stun, increasing it up to 75% if the enemy's turn meter is over 50%. A2 hits will now ignore 20% of the enemy's defense. That's pretty big. A3, ignore defense now scales with King Gorg's own buffs versus the enemy's buffs to make his damage output more reliable. The cooldown of this skill was decreased as well. His passive was improved as well, allowing King Gorg to retain his speed and crit damage stacks after the revival. So after a res, he's going to retain those stacks. Let's take a look at what they actually specifically say. So his A1 ability. His attacks one enemy 2 times, has a now 50% chance of placing stun for 1 turn. The chance increases to 75% if the target's turn meter is equal to or higher than 50%, damage increased. Remember, we don't know how much his multipliers have been changed, hopefully significantly, but I guess we're going to find out when these actually go into play. His A2 attacks one enemy 4 times. Each hit will ignore 20% of the target's defense. Each crit has a 50% chance to decrease the cooldown of the Gore Maker's skill by 1 turn, which is his A3 ability. His A3 attacks all enemies, ignores 20% of each target's defense, will ignore a further 5% of defense for each buff on this champion. So maybe he becomes viable in PvP content. So with him, we also have a passive change. So his passive increases his champion's speed by 6 to 30 and crit damage by 7% up to 35% for each enemy this champion kills in a round. Will not reset if this champion is killed, which is massive. Whenever an enemy champion is revived, fills this champion's turn meter by 30% for each revived enemy. It then places 50% increased attack and 30% increased crit damage on this champion for 1 turn. Now this passive, assuming decapitating Hydra heads don't count as a kill, then it's not going to do anything in Hydra, but it could do stuff possibly in PvP. But even then, you're probably not going on super long fights with an attack-based damage dealer, but maybe you are, so maybe he could be good there. But when you look at the A2 skill specifically, and even the A3, having a ignore defense, 20% ignore defense built into this on top of a multiplier increase, damage increase, we're looking at a potentially very hard-hitting A2 skill. Gorg, I've seen him used in content before. I've seen players using him with actually decent success. So if he's now buffed to actually be a solid champion, then hey, maybe we see more of him, which would be awesome. And we can fix some of these horrible reviews, which are deserving. I mean, he doesn't bring anything that cool, so he needs to bring at least some damage. He doesn't have anything very useful for Hydra, so I'd still kind of doubt he'll be a Hydra champion. But now you could stack up to 10 buffs to get essentially, let's see. What's he ignoring per buff? Is he ignoring a further 5% of defense for each buff? So we get an extra 50% defense ignore in the best case scenario, which would be amazing. So we'd have a 70% defense ignore. If Helm Smasher procs, now you're looking at a 95% defense ignore. So he's basically ignoring 100% of the enemy's defense. So things like Savage, Lethal, puts him at 100% pure damage. The A2 has a chance of reducing the cooldown of the A3 ability. Is it still 50% chance? Yeah, still 50% chance. So he's hitting with the A2, which is a 3-turn cooldown. I mean, he can potentially be a pretty solid champion. Potentially. We'll have to see how much his damage multipliers are changed by. Matter of fact, let's actually go visit the Hell Hades site real quick and see what his multipliers currently are. Because I feel like they weren't horrible multipliers, but I could be definitely be wrong. But adding on top of better multipliers, better defense ignore is actually huge. Okay, so he already had good multipliers. Yeah, I thought they were pretty decent. 1.4 with a 4-hitter on the A2, and then 3.7 on the A3. If they have a decent change to that, plus the extra defense ignore, this guy seems like he could be a potentially solid champion to pull out of your vault and actually start using. I'm looking forward to that. So with him, I don't think I have any souls, which at this point in the game is kind of like required to have souls for champions if you're going to use them at any high level. But we'll see when he actually comes out. I'll test him out, see how he performs. Now, as far as Saoirse, how am I even talking about her? I'm not going to get her, and neither a majority of you, but just for entertainment's sake, let's take a look at her kit. It is quite a bit better, by the way, which is nice, I guess, for those few people who have her. So Saoirse the Charred. With this rebalance, we aimed to refine Saoirse's kit and make her a top-tier champion against Hydra. In other words, players aren't spending enough money for her, so we need to make her more enticing. Though, there's a lot to be changed to make that happen. So her A1 now has a 100% chance to decrease the duration of a random buff on targets under HP burn. Her A2 no longer triggers an attack, ensuring reliable HP burn debuffs while bypassing Poison Cloud. This is super cool. I love burns that can go past Poison Cloud. A few champions in the game have it. For some reason, Tamesia has it, which she has a hit on that skill, but either way. Cooldown was decreased too, meaning even more HP burns. On the A3, we replaced turn meter reduction with decreased speed and hex debuffs to boost overall team damage, which is awesome. These two buffs are very good in Hydra. Turn meter reduction is useless in Hydra, so switching that out makes her less of a progressional champion, which, I mean, to be honest, if you spent enough money to get her, which is like $500 to $5,000, depending on if you're purchasing the points outright or just getting them through your packs, you probably already have champions to progress through content, right? If you've spent that much money and don't have good progression champions, well, you've got bad luck, and you should probably just refund your account. Either way, let's continue. And lastly, her passive was enhanced to offer greater healing, supporting allies with minor heals, plus an increased chance to instantly activate HP burn on enemies. So her specific kit, her A1, everything's the same except for if the target is under HP burn debuff, the chance increases to 100%. We already talked about that. Her A2 no longer attacks all enemies, it just places HP burn for 2 turns. Cooldown reduced to 3 turn. Currently, it was a 4-turn cooldown. Very cool stuff. And then her A3 is an AoE, 75% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed for 2 turns if the target is under HP burn debuff. Also, 75% chance of placing a hex debuff for 2 turns if a target is under HP burn debuff. So basically, you need to have them under an HP burn. So A2 into A3, very good stuff. Just like Sun Wukong, she's not going to be weak hitting on this A2 ability, so we can just always have HP burn up. Very, very good, consistent stuff there. So this A3 condition should be hit basically all the time. And then her passive. Whenever this champion's attacked by an enemy under HP burn, heals this champion by 25% of the damage received and heals all allies by 10% of the damage received. Pretty cool for Hydra. Also, has a 35% chance to instantly activate any HP burn debuffs on the attacker. That's also very cool for Hydra. So since she's not a outright damage dealer, even less so now, you can very much build her for support. She can tank those hits, take big hits from Hydra, and just be healing up the allies on your team pretty solid. and actually could be making her way into Hydra teams. Is she going to make her way into top tier Hydra teams? No. I don't see her at all being in those top tier Hydra teams. She's going to be good for damage, but I still don't see her being a very popular champion in Hydra, because the players who have gotten her probably have better teams than what she's going to contribute to. It's my personal opinion, but her kit is a lot better than it was before, and if she was a champion you could pull from shards, be awesome, right? Be super cool. She'd be a top tier champion without a doubt. But currently, she wasn't used, and even with these changes, I feel like she will be used more, but probably not by the players who actually have her. And unfortunately, the players who don't have her, well, they're not going to get her randomly. So, bring in her shard, and it could be better. Either way, guys, thank you all for watching. Let me know what you think of these changes. Let me know your opinions on King Gorg. I'm really looking forward to that. I think he could be a awesome champion. I would like to get some souls for him, because I have none, I don't think. I think I have no souls for him. No souls for him. We'll love a soul for him, try him out. But either way, thank you all. Appreciate it. Best of luck, and I'll catch you in the next one.